7 Beowulf.
Oh,
There are translations.
I'm just gonna start us because otherwise we're just gonna keep on going. Hi, my name's Tony Vicinda. Welcome to Plus One EXP's Roll for Content actual play channel. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. If you want to find us online, you can find us at Plus One EXP across almost any social media platform. You can find me at Tony Vicinda, but you didn't come here hear me talk. You came here to watch us play a fun little game. We're using a system. Somebody's here for the weird. We are playing through some of the content from Phylactery 3, which is live right now on Kickstarter. You can go to ttrpg.link / I keep on saying PS P3KS to go right there. It's right below Levi's face. But we are going to be using a system called Down We Go, which was made by Marcus, who is, his last name is very Swedish. I don't think it's that hard. I think it's Linderman. But he is an awesome member of our community. You can find it online, Drive Through RPG. If you type in Down We Go, it's $1. You should go download it. There's also 2 GM tools that are each $1. You go download those also too. You'll spend $3 and have a pretty complete OSR minimalist system. But if it seems like I know the rules and Levi doesn't, it's true. There's only half a page of rules, but Levi was very confused. So I said, if there's any rule questions, just ask me. With that said, we'll pass it around and let everybody introduce themselves and kick it over to Levi to kind of introduce our game and take us in after we do safety tools. So, Sam, go ahead and tell people who you are, what you do, and if you want people to be able to find you on the internet, tell them where they can do that.
Oh, Sam, me, Quinn, Authenticity.
Quinn, sorry, I was just reading things as my brain is tired.
It's all right. I'm just glad that I thought ahead far enough to realize you were talking to me, because we could have been just sitting here for 15 seconds. We could have all been sitting here.
It's just process of elimination.
Yeah, like nobody else here is named Sam, to my knowledge. Hi, I'm Quinn. You can find me on the internet at Twitter, primarily at AuthenticityTRP, because I'm hitting that character limit. I don't have anything out right now, but I'm working on an isolation horror game, and I put together this little fucking zine game, which is, it was for BFB Jam, and then there was something wrong with my shoulder today, and I was procrastinating, and I didn't get to finish it in time. But it exists, so I'll be releasing it soon. It's just a cute little community world building game about like internet spaces and stuff. It's fun. I think that's all the interesting things I have to say.
Sweet. All right, we're gonna kick it over to our Alex Murray, one of my top 26 favorite Alex Murrays.
Hello, my name's Alex. I'm a Brooklyn-based actor, comedian, podcaster, children's entertainer, jack of many nonsenses. And because I said Beowulf a whole bunch, I'll plug my one-man musical version of Beowulf called Wait that you can follow on Facebook or search for on YouTube if you just type that in. All those things I just said. You can listen to me sing songs and rant about dragons and beast murder.
Do you have to use the ligature when you type Quake, or can it just be AE?
No. Super fun to be able to answer that confidently with my recent knowledge of the word ligature. Thanks, Quinn.
Which is a great transition over to Ava. Ava, tell people who you are, what you do, and if you want to be able to be found on the internet, where they can do that at.
Hey, I'm Ava. I'm here because Tony asked me to be, and you can find me at Twitter at Young Dumb Bitch, YUNGDUMITCH.
Like you really got to start freestyling after you say those words in that order.
Awesome. And then we've got our dungeon master themselves tonight, ruler of all we see and hear, and probably
I don't know about all that. All right.
We've got Levi comes from Planet X Games. Levi, tell people who you are, what you do, and tell us about Phylactery 3 and the adventure we're going to be going on tonight.
So my name is Levi Combs. I am the head of Planet X Games. We do adventure modules, we do zines, we do all kinds of fun little games. You can find me on Instagram at It Came From Beyond Planet X. You can find me on Twitter at Planet X Games Company, and you can find us on Facebook at Planet X Games. Tonight we're going to do an adventure from my latest zine, which is on Kickstarter right now, the Phylactery 3. It's like kind of like a 48-page mishmash, just jam-packed with OSR, RPG content. You're going to find adventures in there. You're going to find NPCs, magic items, artifacts. You're going to find crazy locations. You're going to find mini adventures, monsters, the whole thing. If you're ever familiar with things like the old Arduin Grimoire or Dragon Tree Press, anything like that, it's very similar in tone and feel to those. Tonight, it's Cursed Barrow of the Whispering Skulls, which is one of the mini adventures inside the Phylactery 3.
Sweet. Well, I'm excited about it. We use a couple of safety tools here on the stream, line, veil, and X card. We have a hard line, which lines are anything that may happen in the world of our game, but we don't focus on during the stream at all. We have a hard line against sexual violence on the stream. Veils are things that may happen in the course of our game, but with caution, and if they come up, we kind of address them lightly or whatever way makes the players comfortable, and then we move forward. Or X is if anyone's feeling uncomfortable. They can just say or type X into the chat, message me, and we will pause and figure out what the issue was and move forward in a different direction after we've clarified it. Avoiding that, we like to normalize that conversation. So with that said, does anybody want to add any lines or veils to the lineup for us tonight? Cool. All right. With that said, Levi, I'm going to hand it over to you to take us into, maybe not right into, just maybe adjacent to the Cursed Bearer of the Whispering Skull.
Well, guys, before we get started, actually, let me go ahead and grab your character names. And if you have a class or kind of a genre archetype that's associated with, warrior, wizards, whatnot, let me go ahead and get that as well. Starting with Alex.
My name's Laser. I'm a gladiator from whatever your world's equivalent of America is, I guess.
Done and done. Laser the Gladiator. I can dig it.
Layzor, if people want to get to work on, fan
Some
art.
character art, yeah.
Illuminating manuscripts.
Character. Why think small, man? Just go straight for the script of Hollywood.
Yeah, an epic poem, perhaps.
I want to see that movie.
So
Stay tuned. It's coming.
All right,
Smash
Gwen.
some skulls.
We're gonna go with Gellerel. Gellerel. And if I were to name his class, I guess I would consider him a sort of a scamp. We'll call him a scamp.
Gellerel the Scamp.
Gellerel the Scamp. Yep.
Which is interesting because my character's a rascal, and so like you don't always get a rascal and a scamp in the same.
I see a new OSR system: Scamps and Rascals.
Yeah.
Scamps, rascals,
All right.
rapscallions, and knaves.
There it is.
Yes.
Big boy.
Bag yourself.
And Tony.
I am a rascal. I'm a rascal who can use the spells though also too. A spell rascal as they call them. I am gonna go with the name
Beardy.
I'll just go with Beardy. That's fine.
Beardy it is. All right, Beardy the Spell Rascal. All right, and Ava.
I'm Pyra, and I'm just a bog standard cleric, keeping it simple, keeping it old school. I've got a shield, a holy symbol, a mace, chainmail. I
like the
attack
cut of your
1d6 acolytes at level 11.
Standard.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we are playing out of some of the content from Phylactery 3, but the system is Down We Go. I'll find it. I'll drop it in the chat in just a minute from Drive-Thru. It is a fun system for just $1, and it's a half of a page also, too, for the full system. So on the other half of the page, once your character dies, you've got space to come up with a new character real quick.
Technically, you're getting two systems for $1.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
it's
they're the
one half
same
of the
system.
page and the other half of the page.
But yeah, with that said, yeah, that's who we have. And Levi, tell us what we're doing.
You guys, you have been adventuring together for a while, and you are.
Oh, wait, hold on, real quick. I forgot. Ava, spell your character's name for me one more time.
Pyra, Pyra.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yes. So close to the whole American Gladiator lineup. Pyra, Laser, Beardy, and Gallerel.
All right, so you guys, you've been adventuring together for a while. You all know each other. You know each other's capabilities. You're very familiar with each other. You're friends. You are traveling from one destination to the other, and you are approaching a town called Bentlebows Ridge. Just a little tiny little dot on the map. It's a little speck of nothing between nowhere and over there. You know what I mean? Do you have horses?
Probably not. We suck.
All right.
Nah. Yeah.
You're just,
I do. I have a horse.
then everybody else is walking while you ride.
Yeah.
And no, you guys are making your way down the road, just chit chatting, and you see a figure running full sprint at you from down the road. As it gets closer and closer, you realize it's just some guy, just some farmer-looking chap. You know, he's nothing special about him, no armor, no weapons or anything like that. He's taking a full-on just run, and he has a very panicked look on his face. He's just running to you.
Behold.
Should we move out of the way?
We don't just stand to the side and let
He
him
looks-
through. Can we
Yeah,
just
he looks like he's in a hurry.
We move over to the
Oh,
side
he's
of the
most
road.
definitely in a hurry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
We let
politely
him
move
pass politely.
to the side of the road.
We're civilized folk.
You stand off to the side, kind of a bewildered look in your face, like, all right, what's going on here? This fella, he comes running up, and he shops you for some very intimidating looking folks. So he stops short, puts his hands on his legs, and he's out of breath. And he's pointing back to where he came. He says, I'm getting out of there before sundown. He says, I ain't never seen nothing like it. You know, he's kind of your country yokel type, got a big thick accent. By the way, this is like fields. This is like, rolling hills and like farm fields. You know, nothing spectacular, no deep forests or like mystical mountains or anything. This is just like being out on the country road.
Well, that sounds bad. We shouldn't go that way. Just go around.
Oh, it sounds dangerous that way.
Yeah.
What-
Maybe
what
we
did
should
you-
just
what
turn
did you-
around and go back to town.
No, let's go beat some ass.
Well, we don't even
not
know
this
if there's.
again. Not this again.
I'm going to say we don't even know if there's asses to beat. It could be an infestation of some kind of hideous assless men. So we best
that's
ask
true.
this good
That's
sir
Let's
what
go
it is that he faced in this town.
Yeah, buddy, we
Assless
gotta
men.
like re-ass people or de-ass people. What's up?
Men without asses is one of the scariest campfire stories I've ever heard. I don't want to go near that with a 5-foot pole.
But
were
also
like
one of the best 80s bands.
Yeah.
He says, look, I ain't never seen nothing like this in damn near 50 years. You know, we ain't had wizard and whatnot in these parts since that pointy hat feller. He rode through and turned that Tilly boy into a donkey for trying to steal his horse.
Cool.
Very asked.
Yes. Yes. So we know there's at least one ass. Awesome.
Yeah, he did get asked.
Yeah, he's.
So-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so it's something you would expect a wizard to do, is what you saw, but there was no wizard there. Am I reading this correctly?
He says, "Oh no, so there's some very peculiar things going on in that town, but I'm not sticking around to check it out. I'm getting out of town before things get worse than what they already are." He said, "Those damn skulls floated up out of the ground and scared."
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
And scared old Farmer Elkins, and I don't want any part of it.
I look and I say I was right. They're men without asses.
Oh my God,
or,
you're
right.
or the rest
No
of their
asses.
bodies.
Or
Horrifying.
maybe it's ghost asses.
That's true.
That's
Well,
even worse.
as a sworn member of the clergy, it is unfortunately my duty to rid the land of ghost asses.
Yes.
So I at least will head that way. If you guys would like to help out, I'd appreciate it.
Smash ghost butts. I am in. Let's do it.
Okay.
Is that your voice? Is that where you're going?
Please keep that up.
I don't want to have to smash ghost asses. Don't make me.
Oh, come on. G Money, it'll be fun.
Fine.
Remember the last time we went and smashed a bunch of asses? You ended up having a great time.
No, you're right. I know you're right.
These
poor
could
guy, he's
these could
doing this
theoretically
number.
be the asses of the people whose asses we smashed last time. come back
This
haunting
guy,
us
he's
for
looking from
vengeance.
Then they
one
know what's
cube
up.
To
You
the
guys trying to
other,
talk?
to the other, to the other. He kind of nods to himself, and he takes off down the road.
Oh, whoa, hey, well, see you later, bud.
I guess we should make for that farm he was talking about. It seemed like that was the source of the skulls.
Yeah.
Bentlebow's Ridge.
Do we see a ridge in the landscape that we
As a
can
matter
head
of fact,
towards?
you do.
Well, let's head towards that ridge, I reckon.
A couple little plumes of smoke going up on the hills there. You know, you can definitely tell there's some sort of small settlement up there. No, it's not a big city or like a sprawling, you know.
Like normal chimney stack types of smokes, or do we smell ash?
Yes,
in the air?
definitely normal chimney stack type of smoke.
Yeah, that
just
was my
a
attempt at
settlement.
Foley work. Obviously, wasn't successful. That's what that deep
That was
inhale is
awesome.
for.
What do you guys do?
He did say the name of the farmer, and I
Yeah.
Farmer
I was trying to
Elkins.
clock it. Elkins.
There you go.
Which I easily remember because chat commented on Farmer Elkins is afraid of his own shadow. Don't believe that yokel.
Yeah,
He is a
so
local yokel.
so we should head over to Farmer Elkins and see how we can render assistance to him.
Sure. Yeah. What's the town looking like here? Is there a town?
Well, as you go down the road, you start to see more and more small little kind of homesteader farms popping up. Nothing super impressive. These are just places, where there's like a family with 6 sons, a couple horses, a plow, and then some fields. You know what I mean?
Solidly impressive. 6 sons. That's somebody's doing some work.
7 brides for 7 brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of your typical kind of Waltons, sort of, life on the farm kind of stuff. And then as you get closer to Bentlebow's Ridge, you see the little sign, Bentlebow's Ridge, population 50, or whatever, painted with the 5 backwards, that kind of thing. And there's not much to speak of in the town. There's a town square, there's a well, there's a couple shops, there's a blacksmith. There's not even an inn. There's not even a place to stay. It's literally just kind of like a quick watering hole on your way to someplace, some better place. And as you come into town, what looks like probably the entire town is gathered in the middle, right there around the well, and they're all listening to one guy, and he's just going on and on, and his big old wide eyes, and he's just talking up a storm. And there's just murmur going through the crowd. Nobody can believe, that you can tell that nobody in the crowd, half of them don't believe what he's saying. The other half are, seem to be shaking their heads in agreement or, annoyance or whatever. So as you guys, as Tony rides up and the rest of you walk up, you're some very impressive looking figures. After all, you are a spell rascal, a cleric,
Spell
a
rascal.
scamp,
Yeah.
and a gladiator. So not fitting in with the local yokels. As you walk up, all heads turn towards you.
I will say, good citizens, nothing to fear. The church has been dispatched to deal with your skull problem. Bring us to it post haste.
Yeah, you see the murmur roll through the crowd, a couple gasps and whatnot, and everybody starts talking amongst themselves. A lot of distrustful looks here, especially with the news that apparently that skulls rose out of the ground, as the guy said. As everybody talks back and forth to one another, the crowd kind of parts, and a fellow comes through, and it is indeed Mr. Elkins, Farmer Elkins, Jessup Elkins. He comes forward and relates his tale. So a couple days ago, in the farm, his farm, right outside of Bentlebow's Ridge, he was plowing a freshly cleared plot, just right to the west of his farm, when one of his horses stumbled, and then a plow that he had disappeared into the ground. The horses scattered to get free, and the ground literally gave away, creating this big ragged hole in the ground. Once the dust cleared and whatnot, the farmer was able to look inside, and he saw what appeared to be like a shallow subterranean cavern. You know how like sometimes the ground will give away, underneath. And inside that shallow underground cavern, there was an ancient stone marker that bore a very strange pattern of swirling runes. Okay, not knowing any better, but still not being the wisest guy in town, and not being a scaredy cat. He climbed down in the hole to investigate. And when he did that, he's got these dreams of riches and buried treasure in his eyes. He, pried away that stone marker, trying to get it, whatever was behind the marker, until it came loose, and then it reveals this, long abandoned, entrance to the, like an underground chamber. Now, much to his surprise, out floated 7 menacing-looking skulls that were wreathed in purple flames, each with precious stones festooned in their eye sockets. The skulls quietly drifted to the top, up to the surface, and created a circle around the newly uncovered barrow. In doing so, they were followed by a curious, discordant aura, like a hushed concordance of whispers. You ever see the movie? You ever see that old show Lost? You remember Lost?
Sure.
That's
Back
that
That
old
old
show.
show Lost, huh?
That old show.
I mean, it was like 2001, man. But that's 20 years ago.
I like how everybody's like that old show, and it's like, oh no, yeah, that was like 20 years ago.
Damn,
Never
dude.
mind.
You guys could be 20 years old. I don't know. Come on. So anyway, it's like, you remember when they would run across the others, and there would always be that. That's what that's kind of what he describes as this this hushed concordance of whispers. This
Farmer
And I-
Elkins
and I-
is a
I
big
look at him-
Lost fan.
Do I?
Ed.
Is Farmer
Right.
Elkins a big Lost fan? Is he like, yeah, you guys know that show Lost?
It's just like this. Yeah. He does.
Just
He
like
does.
that.
He does the whisper noise, and I say, how was it one more time?
he said.
Oh, I
Just like
missed.
that,
I
sorry.
missed the last part. I'm making notes. Go ahead. Just give it to hit me with it one more time.
That's all you
Oh,
get.
that sounds like this one guy talks in this old movie, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Old.
How did that go?
That is an old movie.
Jeez.
It's about as old as Lost.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've uncovered some sort of tomb or cursed dungeon, and now we got to clean up your mess. So take us there. No time to spare.
He is more than happy to do so because, A, he can't get any farming done. B, everyone's spooked. And 3, people are starting to leave the town, as you saw by the guy running on down the road there.
Yeah,
They don't
next
have
time, just for reference, next time you find some hidden tomb in the ground, just cover it back up.
Yeah.
And it's been fine the whole time you're on the farm. You didn't need to go around messing with it.
Swirly runes, spell your doom. Mhm. Like that away, friend.
Well, I mean, you're talking to him, and you got the old gaffer type, the old man with the one eye shut and the other eye is real big. He comes through with this the hayseed hanging out of his mouth and his ragged clothes. He says, "Now you looky here. This ain't the first time we had strange stuff happen around here in these parts. And my grandpappy's pappy, he passed it on down long before Benelbo's Ridge was here. And that home, that place, that was some sort of wizarding hut. That old Benel wizard that lived up in these parts. He had an old crooked tower. And these folks used to come from miles around to get their curses lifted and problem solved and whatnot. He had a bunch of apprentices too, them young fellows that come out here and try to learn secrets, if and they had the knack for it. So don't be dismissing, Benelbo's Ridge is just a place for folks that don't know nothing. We got secrets too."
Did this wizard, pass on the arcane arts to
My
you?
Aunt Jenny said them skulls ain't nothing but the devil's business.
I see.
That means to damn the whole town.
Right. Well, let's just go deal with that.
All right. So Elkins, he takes you on over to his farm.
Reluctant priest.
What's that?
Just the reluctant priest that we're all following around.
I'm not reluctant. I'm just exasperated by these
Yeah.
yokels.
I've had
This-
it.
Yokels,
this
delusions
priest-
of arcane grandeur.
This priest came to bless the unclean, and to be their D or re-ass things, and they're all out of unclean graves.
So Elkins takes you to his farm, and the farm is much as you had imagined it on your way over there. It's a very simple place. A couple horses, wife, a couple kids running around. He takes you out to the back to his back plot, and as predicted by the townsfolk, there are indeed large hole in the ground with 7 human-sized skulls floating silently above that large ragged hole.
Huh.
You can see from 30, 40 feet away, the skulls are all in varying degrees of physical shape. A few of them are bearing cracks and missing jaw bones, but they're mostly complete. There's a variety of sparkling gemstones in the eyes, one gemstone to an eye, that fill their eye sockets, one to each. And as you get closer and closer to that ragged hole in the ground, you hear that constant hushed concordance of whispers. That's the susurrus, real low whispers. They seemingly come from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. It's very, very strange. Other than looking strange and a bit fearsome, they're just hanging there in the air.
I will, when I hear the whispering, I'll clang my hammer against my shield, which has my holy symbol, and I'll say, "Okay, that's all right. That's enough of that now. Everybody, pipe down. We're gonna deal with this." And I'll walk up, and I pull out whatever my holy accoutrement, and I'm going to use my cleanse ability. It just says banish any unholy effect.
Okay. So as you walk up, you clang and you walk up and you're saying what you said. You do notice that the whispers do draw down, and then all the skulls who were facing inwards, looking at each other, they all turn as one and look at you.
Hello.
Casting their hollowed, bejeweled gazes upon you.
Well,
Dibs on the sapphires.
You guys got asses or what?
You do not see any asses. They are definitely assless entities.
I will,
This
take
is
stock.
false advertising.
In-game laughter.
So you go to do your dispelling of an unholy effect. You do so. The ritual goes off, no problem. But there doesn't seem to be an unholy effect. It looks, fairly fearsome, but as far as an evil or unholy effect, not at all. But it do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll just. You can finish up.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, again, you recite your prayer to your God, and it doesn't seem to do anything. And that's when you do get the feeling that it's not. This isn't unholy. This is it might be a violation of the sacrament of life, but it's definitely not like an evil presence here. But as they did turn to you when you did that, and then as one in a deep, hollow cacophony of voices, they say, "Rest we did in graves of old, unremembered by tales bold. Students of magic, book and spell, by our master's hand slain as well. Imprisoned in spirit, if not in mind, we nourished his life, our souls resigned. We now gather, here as one, to claim our master, thou shatteth." Excuse me. Thou shatteth.
That's in the poem.
I give the
Thou
skull a
shalt
glass
run.
of water.
That's actually a great idea. His skull within we cannot attain. Bring him to us and end our pain. Will you aid us now against the odds, so we may sleep and dream amongst the gods?
Oh, you need.
Yeah, I'll turn to Beardy and I'll say this doesn't seem to be a religious matter. This seems to be more in your spooky dooky little wheelhouse, some kind of arcane trickery. Probably something to do with that wizard that they were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it sounded like it. I like kind of look at the hole and I like look at my horse and I slide down off the side of my horse and lift up the edge of the hem of my robes.
Real quick, is that a war horse or a well-trained horse? Or just a horse you bought yesterday?
I feel like it is probably a well-trained horse, but it's certainly not a war horse.
It's skittish.
Okay.
We should turn to the farmer and say, "Hey, would you mind stabling our horse wherever your horse is stabled, preferably far from here, while we deal with this?"
His eyes are about this big around, by the way. He says, absolutely. He takes your horse. He departs immediately.
Also, can it be our horse? Can we take turns with it?
I was thinking that.
Can we just put
Party
that
horse.
into our own lore that, like, Beardy drew the straw today for Ride the Horse.
Yeah, but the thing is, Beardy always is the one who holds the straws, and Beardy always uses
Weirdly.
prestidigitation to make
Every
sure
time.
that
Oh, again!
Yeah, but-
Oh, dang it!
We get to pick the soundtrack.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
We get to pick the soundtrack and buy the snacks.
That's
We
right.
rock the tunes.
Galarel has a
Somebody crank them in
tambourine
without
out.
F's.
This is in charge of the tunes for this strand of.
You got to get
of
that band
travel.
Hush Concordance of Whispers.
That's right.
Yeah. They're
And
just
Assless Men.
okay.
All right. Does it look like that there's anything stopping us from going down the hole? I know that there was like some kind of like energy, mystical purple fire rune
No.
thing.
No, the skulls are wreathed purple. And when I say purple fire, I don't mean like they're just fully ablaze, and a bright.
Yeah.
They just kind of have like that wispy
Glow
like,
to them.
yeah, eldritch flames, if you would. Definitely
Yeah.
something magical.
I'm
Or
toasting
super-
a marshmallow on one.
You
Just a
could
little
do
marshmallow
that.
on a stick. Just
I mean, they're about 15 feet above you looking down, but
it's a
if you
long
can
stick.
It's a long.
Get, if you can get up there, go
Do you
for
have
it.
50-foot pole in your inventory?
Yeah, exactly. I got a pitchfork from the farm.
All right.
I got a cattle brand in my inventory. We can tie something to it. and we
Oh,
can-
there you go.
I mean, the skulls themselves, they just seem to be monitoring you, or just literally witnessing you.
Yeah.
They're not, moving to do anything.
I will tell Laser to take the lead as we go down
Right.
the stairs.
All right.
It
Take
sounded.
second.
It sounded like we needed to get another skull and bring them the other skull, right? That's what
Yeah,
you
they
guys
just
got.
told
Yeah,
from
us
we
us,
to
need-
right?
save them.
It seems like that these were people that were sacrificed to the wizard, and now because of that, they can't get no dang peace in the afterlife. So we have to go get the wizard skull.
That sucks. Let's save
Well,
their metaphorical
Elkins
assets.
did say that, and I quote, he had a bunch of apprentices too, young fellows that come out here to try to learn his secrets, if and they had the knack for it.
Yeah, it seems like he just sacrificed his apprentices to fuel his own sort of power and what have you.
I almost
Super
went to
chill.
school out this way. I really hope it wasn't this guy's
What a,
this guy's
yeah, what a
apprenticeship.
dick.
You
Yeah,
dodged-
I don't
dodged
want to
real
use
guiding
strong
bolt on that
language,
one.
but sacrificing your apprentices is poor form in my book.
It's almost as bad as like a for-profit university or one of those type things, one of those University of
Almost.
Phoenix type deals.
Let's not go too far.
Laser is striding confidently towards the hole.
Second
Sure,
in
and
the
there's
marching order.
there's no stairs or anything. Literally, it's just a hole. But the hole, it goes down about 10 feet, but it is like a sloping hole because it was where the ground literally just fell in. The
Right.
plows in there, and you can see the hole where like literally he pried that stone off with like a
Yeah,
big
so, like,
stick or something.
I mean, as soon as Pyra says like, "Let's do it," yeah,
So
Laser's ready to go.
does
We'll-
this
Sure.
as we get down into the space, does the stone he pried off or any of the other stuff have any sort of like words or runes or anything else
Yes.
written around the entrance?
So that it looked like a cap. Now that you're down there, you're looking at it. The stone looked like a capstone, like something that would would go on top of like a drain or a big entryway or a hole, or whatnot. Not so much a door, more like a capstone, like you would see in a tomb. It does have like a swirling pattern of 10 runes on it. Do you have any sort of, as a wizard, do you have any sort of schooling in ancient wizardry or
I'm sure I do. I did roll. I rolled plus mystical, which would be the system's appropriate stat. I rolled a 15, so you can tell me how good or I did, how well I did in Runen based on that, if you want to.
Well, it's definitely a wizard symbol, and based on the number of skulls and the number of runes and the swirling pattern, you're guessing this is Valshathrun's personal symbol.
Okay.
Who's that dude, Beardy? Who's Phylactery?
Do I know anything about? Is that name striking me?
No, as far as a personage or anybody of note within the last 100 years, nothing like that.
Probably just
never
another
heard of this guy.
penny and farthing store mage who wanted to make a name for himself.
Yeah, definitely not somebody who's chiseled out. Their name isn't chiseled into the annals of great deeds of history.
Yeah.
Nothing of the sort. So Yeah, so the hole is an entrance shaft. Now that you're down there, you can see clearly. It's competently constructed, and rather than having stairs or steps, it's just a hole that leads straight down into darkness.
Well, I will light up my lantern. I'll hang it from one of the buckles of my shield so I don't have to spare a hand. And let's get on down there.
Real quick,
Sure.
out of curiosity, I have a big ol' sack of marbles. I'd just like to drop one down, so that we can see how far down it goes.
Look, it drops down maybe 15, 20, 25 feet, something like that.
Yeah,
Not far at all.
that's not nothing.
A totally fallable height.
Absolutely.
Just want to jump in so bad. Anybody? Hey, do we have any rope?
I've got a grappling hook. I'll secure it.
Hell yeah.
And again, the skulls just have their heads tilted down watching you, saying nothing.
Give him a thumbs up.
Guys don't want to give us
Yeah.
like a clue or anything? No? No help. Groovy.
I mean, they did give us like a whole like.
Yeah, they gave us a
Like
riddle.
song.
They gave us a song and dance.
They
quite
said
literally.
come into our hole.
And so, when have you ever been one to refuse that offer?
No, it's a very neighborly offer. I will
Thought it
give
was
them
very
that.
polite.
Come on into our hole. Look around. See if you can find a skull. Love it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, like if we've been adventuring for a while, I guess a whole entrance as a group is probably we're there, right? We've done this.
We
We're
know,
like,
yeah.
We're like in like a hup,
Yeah,
hup,
so
hup, sort
you-
of like, if Pyra's doing it.
You shimmy on down the
shimmying
rope into the
down,
hole,
yeah.
no problem.
You could call us wholly experienced.
Do you remember the last stream where you were like, I didn't mean to do a pun. I didn't
I-
want to do a pun. You've already
it's-
dropped like 3 puns in this session.
It's not my fault.
What's the truth, Quinn?
It's just happening. It's just they're just there.
There's something about spending time in front of an audience that just makes Quinn want to toss puns out.
I'm not proud.
Don't get all tied up by it, man. Just roll. You know.
So, my only rule for marching order is wizard in the middle. Like that's my only.
I will actually. Here's what I'll do first as our little means of egress into the hole is I'll actually tie my lantern to the end of the grappling hook rope and lower that down first.
Sure. It lowers down. You could set it on the ground. Zero problems.
Do we see anything that it's illuminating?
So it's a shaft that
Mhm.
goes straight down, and then you can see that it opens up into a bigger chamber. But as far as anything past that, not from your advantage. But again, you get down the rope with no problems. As long as all 4 of you are going down, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, zero problems. You get down there. Now, this chamber, it's dominated by a finely worked stone pedestal on the far wall. It's got one of those flat tilted top, almost like the kind you would see like a church, where like a preacher would read his sermon off of. And then
a lectern.
a lectern, absolutely. And then on the wall to the left and then behind it, there are 10 skull-sized niches in the walls surrounding the pedestal, leading one to presume, you know what was in there. There is a
bowling
pile
balls.
there's a pile of stone in the opposite corner, and then to your immediate right, as you come down the hole, there is a door with steps leading further down.
I point laser that away.
Right. Yes. More mysterious holes. God, I love that you love that. I love that you know that I love going down mysterious holes.
You're the best at it. No one's
It's hard.
better than you.
It's hard to
Just
tell
can't get
from where
enough.
you're at now, but there might be something on that pedestal, a book or a. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna. I mean, I was drawn to the pile of stones. I was curious what was going on over there.
Too bad. Go down the
Look
hole.
at that.
Oh, and by the way, this place is filthy. It's just by. Is anybody here like a dwarf or any underground race of any kind?
I don't. There's no.
Sure.
There's no.
Yup.
It's relevant now. So
Laser is no doubt.
You can tell that this this is a long abandoned place. I mean, there's cobwebs and a thick layer of dust. Nobody has been down here for a very, very long time. And I'm not talking like, 10 years, 50. We're talking hundreds of years. Nobody's been down here at all.
How long ago, at least from the sense, that one dude that was going off about the wizard, did he say his like great grandfather's time the wizard was here? Or
We got at
Great,
least-
wasn't it?
We got great. My grandpappy's grandpappy, if I recall correctly.
Yep, my grandpappy's grandpappy passed it on down from when
That's
he heard it.
4 generations
oh,
ago.
his grandpappy's grandpappy
Yeah.
from when he heard
Passed
it. His
it down.
grandpappy's
Oh,
grandpappy
great.
didn't see it himself.
So we got a couple
So,
hundred years,
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, we should.
depending on the.
You know,
lifespan
does
of
anybody
these
else have a
farmers.
light source? We can explore different corners of the room.
Happy?
I've got my candle. I say, pulling out my extremely large vanilla scented candle.
All right,
that I
Laser,
took
you
out.
get Laser is a dwarf, so they can get to digging in the pile of rocks, and we'll go
Right.
check out the book. The three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely. I think that. And I not that the question of fantasy races has come up. I do think that Galarel is probably a halfling. No, a gnome. One of the little guys. Gnome.
Yeah.
Total scamp.
Absolute scamp, just a real scampy motherfucker. And I definitely think that he was over that pedestal right quick.
Okay. All right. Well, Galarel, the first thing he sees is there is a book on it. It's open to a certain page,
Sick.
and however, it is just covered in cobwebs. I mean, you're totally you can't read it at all. Cobwebs all over. Cobwebs attaching to the wall. Cobwebs going down the stone pedestal. Again,
Wow.
been down here and these are not cobwebs that are active with spiders on. These are just from a long time ago, man. Caked with dirt.
I guess I'll just start clearing them up. I guess I've got my marshmallow stick pitchfork. I'll just start swishing that around and clearing up the cobwebs.
Nope.
Is that too silly?
No, it
Pour
doesn't take
candy on 'em.
Nothing is too silly. It takes literally zero time. You're able to clear out the cobwebs
Yeah.
and things to the sides and whatnot. Beardy, you do notice, however, something strange. As Galarel is moving things around, you're noticing there's definitely something peculiar about that book. You've seen enough magic tomes or enspelled books or wizardly works of writing to know that this should have disintegrated a long time ago. There's probably something special about this book if it's still looking as crisp and as whole and not worm-eaten and crumbling.
Special and there's a reason Alex never goes towards the books anymore. It happened. He had a bad experience one time with a book.
Never again.
And so familiar and like, hey, nobody should mess with this book, or familiar like, I absolutely want to mess with this book.
Familiar as in it's in pretty fine shape despite having been underground and exposed to elements for centuries.
Right, but not necessarily like he's going to read that book and it's going to consume his mind.
Oh
and suck
yeah,
him
like
into
you
the
don't hear
pages.
the theme to the Omen
Right,
whenever
right,
you look
right,
at the
right,
book.
right, right.
You don't hear any of that. Like
Right.
it's just preserved.
Cool. It looks like that may be. There's always a name that you throw into these, and I just cannot manage. What is the name of the wizard?
Balshathrun.
And that's not even that hard. I need to make a couple of accent marks.
Shathrun.
Run. I think I may have added an extra set of letters into the middle of that.
What was it last time? It was
Fittery?
What was it?
Fittery or something like that. The name of the
Roma Finnerty.
Roma Finnerty. I could not for the life of me wrap my brain around. Phylactery. That looks like it may be Phylactery.
Val
Kilmer.
Val.
Maybe Val Kilmer's.
Oh, there it is.
Val Kilmer.
Spell book. I would be careful.
Well, do you want it?
I mean, I won't say no.
Just take it.
Well, I mean,
Unless
once
it's.
once
I
the,
mean,
once
maybe
the
you should maybe you
once
should
the
go
cobwebs
look
are
at the
cleared
page
off.
that's open. You should go look at the page that's open and make sure that
check this out, bro.
Make sure it's the spell book and not just like the attendance register or whatever.
Once the cobwebs are sufficiently clear, I
It's
will.
a tale of dread despair written with the souls of the damned. No, it's literally just it's a very well preserved book. Probably with some, as you looking at it now, probably some sort of minor magical enchantment to keep it nice and crisp and fresh, despite the poor condition that it was in.
Do I get the feeling that Phylactery really just liked a crisp page, or is there anything written on it?
So the cover of the book has that same swirling circle of runes on it. You start paging through it, you're looking at it just gingerly and carefully, I would imagine, and you find that it's not a spell book. It's more of a journal, actually. Within the pages, you can read all about Phylactery's, many mighty and horrible deeds, including the literal grim fate of every apprentice who had ever served him. As you go through the tome, it's revealed that Phylactery was very fond of grooming younger wizards to a certain level of power, and then using a ritual to entrap their souls, binding their spirits within the skulls, so that he could draw upon them for power.
Problematic, bro.
He would bring them to this place one by one, with the ultimate goal of one day achieving some sort of immortality through the annihilation of these souls. However, despite these horrors that continue to unfold as you go page by page reading about this guy's horrible life, you're able to kind of see that the tale that is penned in this book, it's almost idolizing of Phylactery. It's not damning him in any way, and it's obvious after a couple pages that he didn't write it. It's definitely written in someone else's hand about him.
Well, it turns out that the wizard that lived here was basically a wealthy white man, like
Wizardy Allen.
Yeah, Wizardy Allen.
Down
And,
here,
my God.
grooming his acolytes.
But whoever wrote this, it's not his hand. It's somebody who thought he was great, though. So let's be on the lookout for whoever that is.
As you get towards the end, it recounts the end of Phylactery's life, in that he was slain in spell combat with a rival wizard, and the tower above was pulled down stone by stone by the townsfolk, or by the people in the surrounding farmlands, who then later would found the town nearby.
The great grandpappy of
I mean, look, the locals, they tore it down, and then they started carting off the stone, from the old tower to build their own homes and build their own places, until nothing was left, and it was just filled in and buried, and all that was left was this barrow.
Hey Beardy, does it say anything about like how or where he died? Maybe.
I will flip through and look for that, like the page of the account of his death. Did he die here? Like, was it up above or down below?
It doesn't say, but as you do get to the end, you do find the author of the book was a young wizard named Thera. That's Theera. Thera. No more crazy names. No more about Shatha Kilmer runs.
I'll relay that information. No, it doesn't say where he was killed or particularly where his body is laid to rest, though. Kind of look around. I think
The skull sort of just seemed to imply that the skull of Phylactery was deeper in this hole.
Yeah. No, I imagine that part was pretty obvious, and then, but as far as where he was slain, it doesn't say.
No, it does refer to a final resting place and a tomb, but other than that, it doesn't go into detail as to the name of the rival wizard who slew him, or the location of where he was slain.
I find anything in these rocks?
So the rocks are bricks. actually. Look like they're left over from the construction of the tomb.
Friends, I found some bricks. What's up
Nice.
with you? What was in the book?
It's very, very interesting bricks. Yeah.
I
Right on.
honestly think that the bricks were a bit more thrilling. It was just some hagiographical nonsense. Take a couple of us. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
further
word.
down.
I pick up a brick and head for the second hole.
The
hole in the
the
stairs.
doorway.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The doorway with just a set of stairs going out, and you see that they don't go down very far before they open up into another chamber, maybe 10 feet.
Cool. I mean, there's not like a stealth feature. Or is there? I mean, I am sneaky, which is nice to have me out front too.
So
I
in the
can sort of-
system, the rolls kind of function vaguely as stats as well. But you can try to do anything and just roll like you would on a d20, and the GM will tell you whether you did a good job or not.
I think it's one of those systems that defaults to roll like you succeed unless something's impeding you. It's only roll when you need to save against something bad or when you attack.
Correct.
I also, as I'm reading hide, I think it just happens. Like I'm just
Yeah,
totally
honestly,
hidden.
correct.
When I stand still, I just sort of fade.
If you choose to, yes.
Yeah. No. Always. That's why I can't stop moving. That's why I have to. Just too good. It's like One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
yeah,
help it.
you can just stealthily move down the stairs.
Yeah,
You
I'm
don't
just
need to roll
saying.
for
Like
anything.
I'll just sort of like, stealthily move down and then get in.
You know what happens. I know what happens. No worries.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, does everybody follow him? Does he go alone?
We're following. We're in our
Yeah.
marching order.
Done and done. Okay. Yeah, you go down again about 10 feet. The stairs go down. Cobwebs. You gotta kind of push through those. They come down easily.
Oh,
Stairs lead down.
I always forget.
A lot of dust. There's a circular room at the bottom that appears to have been some sort of like forum of sorts, with 2 tiers of seating on each side of the chamber. Okay, the walls are hung with drooping, ragged tapestries, and they're worm-eaten, haggard, and it's hard at this point to even ascertain as to what was on them at one point. There's some sort of something, there was some sort of scene displayed on them, but they're old, and I mean, if you touch them, they'll just fall down. One of the tapestries has completely fallen down off the wall, and literally one of the other ones is just hanging from a thread. There is a door on like a closed double door halfway around the room on the other side, and there what appears to be like a blackened and charred body of sorts, just kind of like desiccated, almost mummified, just kind of like crumpled over by the door, and with as you shine your light over there, there's like black scorch marks across the wall and the floor, sprawled out on the ground, covered in cobwebs. There is a symbol of sorts on the floor, but it appears to have been like almost worn, kind of like worn thin. Worn thin is the wrong word. Like worn smooth. Like there's an old faint symbol on the floor.
Does it look like the symbol on the entryway? Is this
No.
Shathron's? Okay.
It's
I was
different.
just excited to say the name right this time.
As a matter of fact, go ahead and Beardy, the spell rascal. If you'll go ahead and make me a wizarding check there.
A wizarding check. My wizarding check was a 13.
Yeah, you're not sure exactly what the purpose of this symbol was, or what ultimately happened to it. It's not magical anymore. There's no more there's no more enchantment here. But just from what you're seeing, you can't be 100% certain, but you're thinking that maybe this had something to do with the ritual that he would do to
steal their power,
right? To draw out their souls and use it to fuel his own ambitions.
It's cool. I will go over and using my staff, just kind of poke at the corpse on the ground.
Sure. Is anybody else doing anything else?
I'll just
got
be
Beardy's
ready.
back. Yeah.
Standing back.
Warhammer up in case it, in case I gotta de-ass it.
Sure, absolutely. So it's a very old, desiccated body. It's charred, burned, and sprawled out on the ground next to the doors, covered in cobwebs, mummified, desiccated, just very old, very brittle looking. Um, there are vestiges of what look like robes that cling to it. Again, what was left of them is tattered and worm-eaten by age, but there is a book that is clutched in the figure's hands.
Gellerel, I found more cobwebs.
Sick.
Yeah, there was actually a quick moment in the passageway to get to here where Laser ran into cobwebs, and in my head, like, he ran into cobwebs because I was out a little bit in front, but I was only clearing the cobwebs like for my height.
Nice.
And so you're running into what's left. Just
I
a
love
funny
that.
little image. Anyway, yeah, I guess I run over with with my stick because I got something to do.
What does that mean?
That's me clearing away the cobwebs.
Once the I think we've somewhat established that my character is something of a neat freak dungeon delver for some unknown reason. The
arcane dustbuster.
yeah,
out.
once Gellerel has cleared away the cobwebs, I'll like gingerly reach out and try to like pull the book out of the hands of this.
The book comes free easily. Yeah, there's not a problem with it.
Okay.
Comes free pretty easily.
And I will open it up.
Wonderful. Now, how do we do saving throws in this system?
It's the same. We roll one of our skills.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. So
It's usually it's usually difficulty 15, or if like something has like an AC value, it would usually be that.
Okay, awesome. Asking for a friend. So yeah, so you pull it, you open it up, and immediately you see on the inside what used to be explosive runes. Now, whatever spell energy was in those explosive runes at one time has been expended. In fact, that's probably what happened to this poor soul that's on the floor that seems to have been blasted and burnt to a crisp.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what you see on the first page. As you page through, it looks to be a minor spell book of sorts.
Do I feel like I could pump magical energy back into this thing?
Back into the
book.
runes and the books?
In the room, yeah.
Oh, no. So it's just like what the trace elements of left over from an old spell.
Cool. Gotcha. I'll stick that in my backpack.
Okay.
Yeah, what's everybody else doing?
Well, there was. Did you say that there was like a kind of tapestry or something like that in the room?
Just some old, very worm-eaten and very tattered tapestries. One has fallen onto the ground altogether, and the other one is like literally hanging on by a couple threads.
Not
Here's
really
like
legible.
this forum at one point was some sort of place of importance. Like I said, with the seating and the circle on the ground, but as of now, everything just seems to have fallen into a sad state of ruin.
Okay. Is there anything else of note in the room?
I mean, I will say I think that like as we're getting our like tactics together. I think Laser's move is to like hit the perimeter every time we come in, which is why he was on the bricks. So like if it's like a forum you said with some like chairs and stuff, I would like top row, just like going around like a quick perimeter every time. Like I'm looking at the walls, looking for, secret doors, what have you.
Sure, yeah, make your roll.
Typical dungeon malarkey.
Yeah, dungeon malarkey. That's
Dungeon
the name.
Malarkey.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, that is the name of a new zine right there, Dungeon Malarkey.
Dungeon
Right,
Malarkey.
I'm writing that
Making
down.
a note. Dungeon Malarkey will be on shelves by the end of 2021, I guarantee you.
I'm telling you.
Well, I threw up a 12 just on my malarkey.
Yeah, you don't
check.
find anything. Yeah,
Cool.
there's nothing there.
I do know, this is a total side note. I do know somebody who comes from the Malarkey clan. Are you familiar with the origin of that word?
No.
I'm not.
It's an Irish family that tried to pay the people who worked for them in a kind of script because they owned enough stuff in town also too to make it worthwhile to be like, hey, we will pay you in Malarkey and then you can buy stuff back from us in Malarkey. But then the entire system folded and a bunch of people that they had paid were left with large amounts of malarkey that was absolutely worthless, which is where the term
Amazing.
"that's a bunch of malarkey" comes from. But I know
That's
somebody who has
awesome.
maintained their, like, all the women in their line have maintained their maiden names because they are descended from the Malarkeys, and so
good.
they maintain their maiden name so that the Malarkey line can still exist.
That's rad.
It's like in today would
So
be like,
Shauna,
this
if
is
you're
like
out there watching, I remember that story. So
that's great.
All right.
Any other exits from this room?
the
No,
double
just
doors.
just those double doors.
Should we hit those double doors
They're-
then?
I'm gonna go like listen at them or
There you
like
go.
peek through the keyhole or we're just going in. We can also do that.
No, you should do that.
Okay.
You should do all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to try and just gather information from this side of the door if possible.
Sure. Yeah. You listen. You don't hear anything. It's quiet as a tomb. You know. The only thing you hear is Beardy back there. You know, just paging through his new
I
spell
don't know if I
book.
can Foley that or not.
Rubbing
Well,
some of his prized +1 EXP
Beard bomb. Go to
into his beard.
plus1exp.com. Yeah, I am going to pull out my sling and load it with one of these obviously especially magically potent bricks that we found on the ground.
No worries.
If there's nothing that we can hear, then I guess we should just go through.
All right, so you go to open the doors, and they do seem to be locked. But so you pull on them, you know when you pull on a locked door, it has a little bit of give. You can feel like the bar on the other side, or you can feel like an internal mechanism for a lock or whatnot. None of that. There's also no keyhole that would indicate that you could lock it from either side. It just seems to not even have any kind of give at all.
Okay, so in this room there's these double doors. There's a corpse. There's a bunch of chairs. There's some tapestries. Is there any other kind of furniture or set dressing?
Not chairs. They're more of like a stone.
It's like a bench.
Seating. Yeah, like a long stone bench, like bleachers almost, but only 2 tiers high, made of stone.
But no,
What's around the body?
And the body.
Oh,
Sprawled
what's around the body?
Oh, just with the blast marks from what again Beardy is assuming if that explosive rune spell that is no longer active in the book. He's just assuming.
So
Can you unlock these doors with your powers?
did I read anything? I flipped to the last few pages of the book. Did I read anything specific about this?
No, not at all. Gillarel,
Yeah.
the scamp. In your cursory examination of the door, you do notice that there are runes that have been marked on it, and they do appear to have some sort of you don't know what they do, but they do appear to be magical.
I do actually have a point in mystical, so I'll give it a go at figuring out what they do.
Yeah, sure. Just don't roll super low.
Okay.
You
I
know,
won't.
Crit
a role-play
fail.
game for it.
Hey.
You know that exploding rune spell?
So about that roll, including my modifier, that's a 5.
Yeah, man. You're really not sure. Hey, Beardy, come take a look at this. Oh, hey, look. This is some sort of enchantment to hold the doors fast. But you think you might be able to force it or just dispel it if they have those means.
I don't know that I have dispel. Hold on, let me actually pop up my character sheet on the on as we call it, third screen.
I don't think dispelling is one of the official things.
It
Oh
is
no,
closest-
because cleanse technically.
The closest thing is my cleanse effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, could I make the case here that if any
Yes.
of these runes are powered in any way by, the souls of these deceased apprentices, I will be saying this out loud to the runes, and also, I suppose, to my god, arguing my case. That violates such section, subsection of the holy text, and therefore can be legally classified as an unholy effect.
You say that to the runes say, "We're definitely evil." Yeah.
Well, then,
Yeah, the total
I
case.
cleanse them.
Yeah, go ahead, make your roll.
It
It just
happens.
happens.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine. You do it, and
I've got
then,
one more use of it, and that's it.
for sure. You dispel the evil magic that holds these doors closed shut.
Okay, let's go on through.
Suck it,
Wait.
doors.
Maybe we should open it a crack now and have Galarel peek through
Punk-ass
that
doors?
opening.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you peer through the crack the doors, peer through. Short hallway opens up into a larger room. There's something down there. There's some sort of something.
Like a moving something?
Some
A
sort of
big
something.
something?
What do you mean, some sort of something?
There's a chamber that opens up, and there's something in that room, something large. I don't mean that it's moving around, but there's an object in that room.
Okay.
All right, I will relay this to the rest of the team.
There is a large object in this room.
Well, there's not much we can do except keep on pressing forward, so...
Okay,
far,
I'm just letting you know. It's big.
so far, pretty much just down a hole, huh? Right.
Just down the hall. If it helps,
Definitely one of those
Galarel,
horror
you can
adventures.
go on Laser's shoulders, and then the two of you are normal sized. If that makes you feel better,
Guys, it's a 2-page adventure. Give me a break.
I love how there are people who are complaining about adventures being too long, and we're just like, wait, what? This tomb is literally just a tomb? How dare you have logical continuity in your fantasy universe?
Where's my 4 pages of backstory?
I'm
That's right.
walking around tapping the walls looking for side quests.
I'm just now that I've thought of it, I love the Galarel laser combo attack.
It's happening.
See, now
Let's do
this
it.
is what this should have been part of the rhyme before we went down. Oh, and by the way, it's a 2-page tomb.
Yeah. Adjust your expectations accordingly.
When it comes to the phylactery in the zine, especially this zine, and I've done this in the last couple as well. I like to have small. I don't take up a large chunk of the zine with any one thing. You get 2 pages here, 3 pages, 1 page with just little scenarios, monsters, and everything. And this is just one of the many scenarios that are in the book. There's actually several.
I was not dunking on your adventure so
Not
much
at
as
all.
I was trying to sort of insert some dramatic irony into whatever happens when our dumbasses walk into this room.
You're like, oh, it really is just a tomb.
I'm not
Okay.
scared at all. Zombies.
Well, everybody, it's been 3 rooms. I think we're probably safe at this point.
Yeah, we're good, right? It was just the 5 skulls. Fuck it. Let's just roll.
Yeah.
We'll just go back up and tell them they were wrong.
Hey guys,
No eternal rest for you. Sorry.
you maybe want to recheck your rhymes or whatever. I think you might be fine.
So we'll stack the scamp on top of the.
But yeah, Team Tiny's
The
doing our
beef
thing,
thing.
man.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is the double sneaky. Yeah,
Which is good because now there's
attack.
not cobwebs hitting my face. Before it was
sure.
cobwebs would get cleaned out, but then they would hit Laser's face, but then they would hit my face, and it was kind of an ongoing nightmare.
But now I'm at head height, and I'm just.
Yeah.
Right.
We're like a Swiffering
Beardy
Goro.
is still walking into all of them because you're not clearing
Did
low
you
enough
hold on?
now.
Did you say a Swiffering Goro?
You heard me.
That's the hashtag I want to see trend right there.
Yeah. Where was that product placement? Mortal Kombat.
That's right. So
All right, what's in this room? What's this big thing?
Yeah, you guys, again, it's just a 10-foot or so hallway. You're able to go down. You come into a larger room, and then Pyra's light sheds light on the what's actually in the room. This chamber contains a fairly ornate tomb. It's obviously the resting place of someone important. It's someone significant, I should say. The tomb is well carved, and the lid bears the same seal that the door and the book bore, the Valshathran's swirling rune symbol. Other than that, there's some writing. Not writing is the wrong word. Formula or eldritch arcane writing on the wall. But it doesn't seem to be like orderly. Like, it doesn't seem like this is like it's not carved into the wall. Like, it's literally smeared on with like paint or some sort of pigment or something.
Someone chalked it on real quick. Yeah.
Just and Beardy, you being the spell rascal that you are, you can tell like there's no lingering sort of magic in those writings.
Okay.
Like they don't glow to your wizard side. They don't. You don't feel any power emanating from them.
Cool. Well, that's got his symbol on it. Are there any cobwebs on this thing?
Oh yeah, there's cobwebs everywhere. The place hasn't been disturbed in a while.
Wah! we just charge around the room, just wah! What a team.
Really why everybody else keeps us around. Right. So like this is the thing, right? Like we're gonna open this and it's like on, right?
Seems like it.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Right. Like this is where the souls and the evil and stuff are, for sure.
Yeah.
Because floating skulls, man. Rhyming skulls. Like it's in here somewhere.
If not, it's going to be really disappointing to them when we go back up.
Yeah, so sorry, guys.
Don't be jealous of the rhyme routine. Come on.
Oh man.
So, how does
sweet to be sour.
as we approach this Valshathran's like sarcophagi?
Of sorts, a tomb, yeah. Definitely a sarcophagus. Why not?
Does it have an obvious opening point?
No, it's just a lid, like
Right.
a heavy stone lid that you would you tilt and then move off to the side.
I get out my crowbar and say, is it time for me to step into this party and disrupt the whole scene? Because I'll do it.
I like your style, sir.
I'm going to consider the thing that I feel like they never consider when opening the tombs of foul creatures in any sort of fantasy movie. What if we opened it from the top and just slid it down so their arms weren't free at first?
I love that. Just see if we can just maybe get a head kill right here at the beginning.
Right,
I tell you
right,
what,
right at the start.
we could do it one even more. What if Galarel and I sort of get up on the sides and you get on the bottom and like maybe pull, so we have two people ready to maybe smash a face.
That sounds
that
excellent.
Sounds perfect.
So
that is happening.
we're going to position ourselves as such, and so
Yeah, cool. You guys slide it down just enough where you can see the head, and there is indeed the top is easily slid aside, like it's levered in some sort of fashion as to slide aside pretty easily, and it reveals some extremely old and charred human remains, including a skull. Now, there's not much. There's not a whole full skeleton in there. It's just literally pieces and that skull. Looks like whatever happened to this fellow took care of most of his body when it did occur. So you slide it back and then you start stabbing at that skull.
Do we see any exploded runes?
No, nothing of the sort. You knock the jawbone clean off. You put a crack in the side of the skull. And then you realize it's not moving. You guys are all crowded around that
We won.
sarcophagus. And then from behind you, through that door where that other body was, you do hear an unearthly shrill, and you see behind you, like you're facing this way, and the wall in front of you kind of lights up with what looks like flames, like you ever like pour gasoline on a fire and it's like you get that sudden burst of light. That plays off on the wall in front of you, and you guys all turn. Standing in the door there is poor Thera, the burning the burning guy. It's the one who had the book. She's standing there in the doorway.
He says, "I'm Thera. Let me tell you a tale of woe."
Well, I will, raise my holy symbol on my shield. And I'm going to say, get out of here. Shoo, go on. And I'm going to try to turn undead.
Go for it.
If they're 3 hit die or lower, they flee for 6 rounds.
Okay.
The question is how much HP would they have? Like how many hit dice would this individual have is really because a hit is equal to a hit dice in this system, basically.
Got it. It doesn't seem to have any effect at all. Like it doesn't flinch. It doesn't. Like I said, it let out that shrill scream. There was the burst of flame. And Tony, do you have that illustration?
Yes, I do. Let me show both the audience at home, and then I will show y'all because that is the easiest way and for which I can do things.
I will turn to the company and I'll say, "Dang it, it's too powerful for my magics."
This is bad. This means it's one of the strong ones, right?
Man, we were on such a roll. This seemed like such a safe tube.
Listen, all I know is she's got an ass.
Not clutching that book anymore. Thanks to
It's not a worst
Beardy.
case scenario.
But yeah, it's a. I mean, as you can see, it's a charred spectral figure with flames and smoke coming out of the eyes and mouth. Eldritch flame licking up and down the arms and neck and skull. Definitely an undead presence, and suitably horrible.
Well, there's one way out, and it's in that way. So I reckon it's de-assing time.
I throw a brick at it.
So let's again. Pyra, she used her action, which was
Turning.
which was to turn. And then, so how does initiative work?
It's
here?
we roll.
D6,
It's a D6, and we either do good or we don't do good.
Okay. All right.
On a 4 to 6, we win. On a 1 to 3, you win.
Who wants to roll a D6?
Somebody
I got
roll.
it in my hand already.
Yep.
I rolled a 5, so we win initiative.
We win.
So Pyra already went, and then just go start from the top and go down.
As soon as she says, "Dang it," I look at the brick that I've had in my hand for like 2 minutes, and I just whip it as hard as I can.
Of course.
And I yell, "All right, shoo!" and whip a brick at it.
Goes straight through her. It goes right through the wavering. That's when you realize it's an insubstantial creature.
Oh damn, y'all! I'm not going to be a lot of help. I stand still and blend into the shadows.
I shake.
So you like I said, Pyra did her turn. Then you chucked your brick. That leaves Gillerel
And Beardy.
and Beardy.
People always forget about Beardy.
Beardy's the-
I
Beardy's our only hope.
was like swinging my brick, and then I see that brick whiff through it. And I'm just like, okay, and I cast magic missile. I actually cast missile because magic missile is probably copyrighted or something, and so I just cast missile that is also magical, which just happens, and it means I do three magical hits. Let's say that my missile looks like three plumes of my beard come like kind of pull out, and they spin around each other in the air, and then they all go and then hit Thera.
How dare you? No, yeah, it strikes. It does seem to affect the creature. Not much of a slowdown effect, but you do seem to stagger the creature as it begins to move forward.
It's all on you, Gallerel. You got this. Did you also select missile?
I did not. That would have been a good. That would have been a good idea. Is
Be a
it
solid
okay?
time for an
Here's.
impenetrable
I feel
wall.
like the spell you selected is actually fairly useful at this point in time.
I mean, there is definitely something useful that I could do, which
So
is
do it.
I guess I just grab the skull and I turn invisible and I just start booking it.
All right. I don't see anything on here about detecting invisibility. All right. Yeah. So you grab that bad boy up,
And he doesn't
and,
he doesn't turn invisible like Laser does. He actually turns invisible. That's the
right.
difference.
That's
a spell.
power, like actual
Yeah.
invisibility.
Yeah,
Right?
it is an actual invisibility. It is.
And-
Yeah.
Now it's blocking the doorway. So where are you booking it to?
I'm small and she's immaterial. So I think I'm gonna try and just slide. Just do a nice slide under as much as I can. Like she's probably gonna at least notice a disturbance as I go through her feet, but hopefully I'll be able to just get the fuck going. That's my thinking.
No, that's a great plan. Okay. So it's like an acrobatics roll or a dex or whatever the equivalent to that is.
Yeah, acrobatics. Sure.
Go ahead and make that.
That's one of the ones that's one of the abilities I picked, so I don't have to roll. That's an auto success, baby.
Okay, yeah. Then you do exactly that. You do the old dugout slide into first base, right under. Now you're going to take a single point of fire damage as you go through her aura of flame there.
That's reasonable.
A single one, not what you would normally take, but a single as you slide through. But you're on the other side, and she can't see you. Now, do we already go past Beardy?
No, yeah, everyone's gone.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Okay. All right. So seeing the skull disappear, and she instantly enraged. Where she's standing turns into a pillar of fire, like a wall of fire, just a pillar of fire in the doorway, and she spins to go. She turns. You guys can't see, but Gallerell, you can tell. She turns around and looks like she's scanning the corridor for you. She doesn't see you apparently. But there's to you guys who are on the other side, there is a wall of flame there in the doorway.
Fun.
That's her action.
Yeah. Laser, you just hiding still?
This is all on you, Beardy. You just gotta keep.
You guys didn't take any
bitch,
cool
don't do
potions that would help
I
us
mean,
out
I
right
do
now?
have this scroll of seduction.
Oh.
Classic.
Are there any other corpses in this room? Anyone else interred here?
No. It was a single sarcophagus meant for Valshethrin.
Maybe you could seduce her into the
Yeah, so you look over and Laser is just like deep in, like his face is screwed up. He's concentrating so hard looking at this scroll, and he's like a little bit of sweat comes down. And he looks up and screws up his courage and points at this unholy abomination. Goes, "How you doing?" And I attempt to magically seduce her.
Well, as hilarious as that would be, as much as I actually kind of want to role play through that, she is an undead creature and thus immune to charm.
Yeah.
And she has her back to you, so she's not even paying attention to you. She's scanning the room for. But in another life, that would have been a great. That would have been a great one.
He just keeps yelling it.
We also may have
how
bumped
you
up on our
doing?
channel. We also may have bumped up on our channel line at that point in time. Like
true.
subverting someone's will for.
Wow.
Yeah, I have this magic scroll. It's called the game.
I'm burning for you.
I will cast missile. This time it's just one off the tip and then one from the edges of the mustache. Each fly out, whip around each other in the air, and slam into the back of Thera.
I mean, it does, and that's 2 or 3.
That's 3.
3. Okay.
If it has hit points should be equal to hit die in this.
Yeah.
In this. Yeah,
Yes. And then there's some ragged smoking, well, not smoking holes, but ragged holes in that material form now.
Like I have a theory, having read enough of Levi's content at this point in time. I do have a theory about what's going on, but I also don't have any sort of character knowledge as far as that goes. So we're just gonna keep on hitting this thing with the magic missiles.
Character knowledge? What is this? A story game?
No, but I feel like
Alright.
there's the meta of I think this would be interesting to try, and there's the meta of I think this may be what Levi did.
Mm.
We'll give it another round or so. Once I'm out of magic missiles, that'll be the that'll start
is
doing
there-
weirder stuff.
Okay, I would like to try to do something, if I may. I
Sure.
would like to go to the coffin. I would like to uncork my potion of animate object, and I
Okay.
would pour it over the coffin, and then I would like to direct the coffin to just kind of
Yes.
close around Fiera. Just coffin from behind, lid from above, and then just
Oh my
shut her
gosh.
in.
That's-
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So you use the potion on this turn. You're pouring it in there, and then you can command it next turn to
That sounds
at the end of this round or segment. It will get up. It animates. It gets up and is at your command.
That's sick.
All right,
That sounds perfect.
Galarel.
That's me. Real quick, I just want to say that when Ava said she uses her potion of animate object, I just thought it was going to stop at potion of anime, and I wanted to know what the hell that did. Anyway,
Next time
what
we
am I
play,
doing?
you should write down
Yeah.
Potion of Anime so you can find
Potion of
out.
Anime. Yeah, I think at this point I've got the ball. I'm going for the goal. I'm
keep running.
scramming. Yeah, man. I'm out of here. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there are any other dangers that I encounter on the way. Should I roll something?
No, you're just booking it
Can't do
across
something?
that
I'm
the
just
next.
going.
You're just booking it down the hallway and into that next chamber to
Yeah.
get away. You get those short little gnome legs.
Yeah, but they go quick.
I do.
Real quick.
What are you other than the flames behind you? What are you using for a light source?
You got anything on you?
You're a gnome, dude.
Did gnomes?
You're-
I mean,
You're a rock
do
gnome.
gnomes see in the door? Just start pulling it in. What? You don't know that
Dark
gnomes
gnome.
have 4 eyes, all with perfect night vision? You didn't know that about gnomes in this world?
And then we spit
No, I
poison.
think here's what I'm gonna do. You know what's flammable? Because I just wrote down random shit. It would have been a really smart idea to write down torches, and maybe I could, but this is funny. So, I have a book of matches, and I also have one of my habits is just to when you're walking through market towns and stuff, they have all those stalls and people are selling all kinds of things. Well, whenever there's somebody selling perfume, they have the little sample vials, and he just always nicks a few. So he's just got a whole bunch of these little perfume vials. So he's just gonna light one with the match, and it's just gonna So
Okay, so you're lighting getting a light source.
yeah, a little perfume lighter.
Cutest
Okay.
blowtorch.
Fair enough. All right, and that's everybody.
Yep, it appears
Okay.
so.
So you're yeah. All right. So again, Thera has her back to everybody in the room. The wall of fire separates you. Beardy the spell scamp. Spell rascal. Your magic missile. Your pain bolt or whatever it's called was able to fly through the being magic was able to fly through the wall of fire with no ill effect. What Thera does is she gives it one of these, that howl of anguish, and she brings her arm up, and the whole entirety of the hallway, and then partially, was it 10, and partially around on the walls of that circular chamber erupt in flames. Everything just erupts in flames, and that's another point. That's another point of damage to you, Jellarel, and revealing your position as you are now wreathed in flames.
Dang it!
Shit.
So
your invisibility would have worn off by now anyway.
you can use a move, so you can use a movement and a power, right?
Yeah, moving act.
Okay, so her movement is she drops into the floor, like her insubstantial form drops into the floor.
Jeez.
And next round.
Is it still filled with
Wait, drops
fire
to
all
the
in front of
floor?
us?
She's gone.
You know, like how spirits, ghosts can move through solid objects. Yeah.
I will command my coffin to follow me, and I will run after Gallarel, trying to escape the tomb.
So as the next round, the good news is that when she drops, when she has the flame erupt down the hall this way, the flame behind her basically snuffs out. So your coffin and everybody else can get through the door.
Sick.
I get inside the coffin. I'm gonna write this. Just kidding.
All right. Yeah. That's all I'm doing, I guess. Just booking it and commanding the coffin to book it with me.
I'm in the fire. Can I go next?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys can all go. Like we have, Ava just went, so you can go.
Yeah.
Sure. However you guys want to do it.
I'm going to. So.
Are you putting yourself out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, what I'm planning on doing is getting away from the fire, as best I can. What room am I in? If I've been doing my math right, am I back in the initial room with the pedestal and everything?
You are in. Hold on, let me bring that up just so I can be sure here. You are back.
No,
Yeah,
you're
you're in the room with the circle on the floor.
The circle?
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
And then there's a stairs that lead up into the room with the pedestal. However,
You're in the forum.
I'm gonna rule that you did appear whenever you were lined out. You
Definitely.
took damage, you did appear. Clutching, you like I said, you still got the nuclear football. You're still good to go there.
Okay. Oh, this is a fun. That's fun. Okay.
Now that we're at the end of it, it seems.
Totally.
Okay. So I'm in the second room there.
Yes. Sorry, I'm pointing at my own illustration. Yes, the circular room there, right there by the stairs.
Okay. Then I think I should probably save my other acrobatics free check for when I get to the well.
Yeah.
So maybe I should make an acrobatics check that's not for free now, so that I can just get the hell to going. I mean, there's a bunch of fire. I don't really know what tools Gellerel has to kind of protect himself in this circumstance, aside from his little feats.
I think generally
Companions.
moving out of the fire is a good basic strategy.
You got a gladiator with a big sword.
Hammer.
Hammer. There you go.
You're absolutely right. Okay, I will attempt to get the hell out of there.
If anybody wants,
yeah?
We could kind of dump, like, if anybody hasn't taken their action, I've got a thing of holy water on my belt. Someone could take that off my belt, throw it on Gallarel.
Nice.
That might be nice. I would definitely.
I mean, I haven't taken my action yet, and I don't really have a better thing to do, so I'm 100% down to. I also have normal water that is not holy that I could just dump on him also.
Just dunk both.
Which seems like
water.
Seems like a potentially better option.
What if while you're just moistening him, I take the holy water and douse him with holy water, so he is double moist and quite holy.
All right.
He's basically as fire lubed as he can get.
100% wet, 50% holy.
I'm just going to assume that you guys are all kind of in as you move through here, you're in a whole, you're waiting for her to reappear. I mean, you're just in a.
I don't know that we're
think we're-
waiting so
we're
much as we
running.
are not letting Galarel burn to death.
No, right. Yeah. So, yeah, most definitely. He's out. No more damage. You
Yay.
think 2 points, yeah?
Yeah, I
Okay.
am on the edge of death.
All right. All crispy. You guys get up the stairs into that room, and sure enough, here comes Thera straight up out of the floor again, and she's trying to grab that skull from you. See, that's the only thing that she wants. But you guys have initiative, so you do your thing.
Okay. Tony?
Well, I don't have any more magic spells left that I think will actually do a good job of or that will be effective on Thera. So I'm gonna do the more funnerer thing, which is I'm gonna throw the book that Thera wrote into the flames.
All right.
Cool.
And see if that has any sort of response.
The flames are they're licking the wall. Like again, this is weird, Tony, because it's only the second time we've played, and both encounters have been with flaming undead. I feel so bad for you because you're getting the same.
They're two very different. I feel like they were two very different flaming undead.
No, most definitely. But it's like playing one day and it's an orc, the next day it's a hobgoblin. Yeah. I feel bad for you. Anyways, you toss that that book into the flames, and it for sure her head as she's contesting for with the Galarel for this skull, her head snaps over. You see that old jaw just drop open. As she seems a bit shocked, or she doesn't know do I save the head? Do I save the book? But she stays firmly going for the skull.
I'd like to
Does not want to seem to let this skull leave this tomb in the least.
I'd like to take, if I could, at least advantage of that momentary moment of distraction to try to snap her into the coffin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want me to do something for that?
It would just be like an attack, right, for the coffin,
Okay.
Roll the coffin's attack.
I rolled a 16.
Yeah, so the coffin snaps her up.
Okay. Does that does she still have a hand sticking out of the coffin grabbing onto Galarel?
or definitely out. But she can't see. She's momentarily blinded by this coffin, and she, that she's an immaterial creature. She's wispy, and
right.
not made of stuff from this mortal plane. But you've obscured the line of sight there.
I would at least like to run up to Galarel and try to have him hand off the skull to me.
Well, she's still got a grip on it. I've got an idea.
Grip on it? Okay, yeah.
I've got an idea. If she's got a grip on it, that means that she can touch the skull, which means the skull can touch her. No?
She doesn't have a grip on it. She was reaching for it. Although it looks if I hadn't made that roll yet, if she hadn't been obscured by the coffin snapping shut, I would have on her turn. I would have made the roll so that she could grab it from you.
Okay.
But yes, you're on the absolute right line of thought on that.
Oh, okay.
Hit her with the skull.
Well, that was my thought. What I was going to do is, if she was grabbing the skull, then I was going to get the skull to bite her hand.
Good Lord.
But if that's not the case, I still think probably. If I'm not on fire anymore and she's not grabbing it, I'm still the guy with the tippiest toes hereabouts. So it's probably best for me to keep a hold of it. I'm going to head up to the pedestal room, and if you'll let me, acrobatics my way up that well sink.
Yeah, it was. Hold on. It was 20? Was it 20 to 25 foot drop?
We've got our grappling hook there still secured.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm trying to think what the distance.
The distance,
was.
Yeah.
I believe it was. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, when we dropped the marble, you said 15, 20, 25 feet. So I don't know.
20.
Actually.
20.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tony, do you know if the auto success from abilities level times a day is that level times a day per ability, Or is
Yes.
it level times a day per? Okay, great, good. Yeah, so I do in fact still have that second free acrobatics check. So
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, he grabs a hold of that rope and begins scampering up the rope. I'll say that you get up to the entrance by the end of the round.
Roll plus scamp.
Sweet. It's about as scampy as it gets.
I mean, and you're using the ability, so there's no need to roll, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else have an action?
I
I'm
do.
just moving.
Okay.
Isn't that the end of the round? I think.
No, I haven't done anything.
Oh, okay.
But I think I just run after you and start climbing the rope. In my head, I'm gonna get up there to help you fucking close it.
All right. So Laser, you're gonna follow him up the rope. All right.
Yeah.
Her movement. It's her turn now. Her movement would be to step out of the coffin, shrieking this death shriek that she can't see the skull anymore, that it's out of her grip again. So she's going to move over to the shaft, assuming that's where you went. That's a double movement, so she doesn't really have a chance to really fire off an attack or anything if she's running after that. Running after that skull. It'd be unfair of me to just throw an extra attack in there. So, next round. You guys are doing a really good job of throwing obstacles in this thing's way, and especially obscuring the vision,
Literally.
so that you can't understand or see where this stupid skull is. It's actually a very good tactic.
That's right. We're speed
I'll
running
let
this
everyone else
beast.
go first, but I assume that we're all just trying to book it out of here at this point.
Well, now she's in between. So Laser and Gellerell are going up the rope, and now she did her double movements. She's at the bottom of that, the bottom of that shaft now. So she's in between you, and the party is split with her in the middle. Half the party is going up the rope. The other half are behind her.
Do you have any spells left at all?
I can make her go to sleep.
I don't think that's going to work.
Neither do I.
All right, let me take a look at what I got.
Ava, once you figure out what you're doing, I have an idea for a combo with me and Tony.
Does anybody have a magic weapon?
No, because we didn't.
No.
You didn't say we could take magic weapons. Could we
I
take?
thought you said.
No, I just said I said potion or scroll because you said level 3, which typically means I don't drop us in with magic stuff.
Oh, okay.
At default. I mean, we can all have magic weapons if you want us to. Like that's fine. So,
I mean, we did think those bricks looked pretty mystical.
they do.
It's too late for that. They went through her.
I do have a vial of ectoplasm, which I feel like I could probably get up to some hijinks with, but I don't know that it's anything else specifically that. But I feel like if you hit a ghost with distillated ghost energy, it does something. So,
unless like healing energy works in a damaging way on undead, yeah, I got nothing.
and you don't try to say it backwards and see what happens.
What, Leia?
Do what? No, just the OSR, like read the spell backwards, like changes it from like blessed to bane or heal to.
I believe in
that.
first edition D&D, if you used that's pretty hardcore. That's what the rules are based after. If you cast a cure spell on an undead creature, I believe it did damage.
Harm. Yeah.
Then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cast a heal on Hera and do 3 hits to her.
Okay, and there's no need for a roll for that to touch her.
Yeah.
No, it's one of my auto successes.
Cool. No, cool. All right, so that does it. That's enough to put her in the hole. As she's literally getting ready to set this whole shaft on fire, turn it into an oven with these 2 guys in it. You just come up behind her and you take that holy symbol and just press it onto her, say your prayers, and that fire snuffs out in the heartbeat, and this just hollow scream, just rings out through the entire tomb, and she dissipates.
Nice.
Fucking
And
A.
you're all standing there in the dark.
Did we
with a-
win?
With an
I can
old
see it.
crusty skull.
I have dark vision.
We all have dark vision now that it doesn't matter. Let's go bring this skull back up.
I
to
feel
the
bad
other
for
skulls.
Laser because all I got to do was throw a brick. Poor bastard.
That's how it goes sometimes.
You forgot all the times you got to go down a hole.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
really
You know-
excited about that.
You
He
know
also-
how many tiny mysterious openings I've gotten to penetrate? Been a good day
Stop.
for old Laser.
Blind. Up we go. Let's go back to deal with the yokels.
So
Oh, there are no yokels to be had. They're far away from this place.
they heard the screams and all de-yokelified.
I mean, if you're just like the average farmer
was-
and there's a hole in the ground with floating skulls coming out of it.
It was actually a
bunch of-
long con. As soon as we gave them that horse, they were like, "This is all we wanted."
Just
you go to get out, they put the marker back.
No, where's straws?
So
the name of
we
the horse.
we take the skull up and give it to the skull boys.
Yeah. So as soon as Jellarel comes, scrambling out of that hole, the heads who are all looking down, their visages all just they just snap right to all look right at him.
Check it out.
And you hold it up.
You want
And,
it? I got it. Let's go.
Everybody else is able to get out of the shaft fairly easily. Lots of smoke coming out of there as well because the whole thing was caught on fire. The aura of whispering voices slowly fades away, and the skull begins to drift out of Jellarel's hands. What? I heard something say something.
That's the sound. That's what Gallarel says as it floats up. He's just like,
Okay. Yeah, it literally just floats out of your hands and comes up into the middle of that circle of skulls. The skulls all turn their attention to the Valshathron's central skull. They begin to chant in an unknown language. There's a flickering greenish glow that slowly coalesces about the skulls. The chanting from the circle increases, and then Valshathron's skull just screams in this unearthly agony as the spirit is recalled to face judgment at the hands of his 7 apprentices. The shriek ends. All the skulls drop to the ground. The gemstones clatter out of the eyes. Everything is silent. Sorry, people in the hall.
No, it's all good.
that's life.
We solved
that
your
murmur.
phylactery puzzle.
We should go get our horses
I get all the jewels. I take all the jewels.
for sure. We should also take everything from all of the abandoned yokel homes.
we loot.
we
fucking-
We do
flipped
not
their homes.
Velma-
loot. We
Velma's rich.
requisition tithes for the church for services rendered.
Absolutely.
I pull out my holy book and I point to the section where this is a legal clause stated for services rendered for the removal of 7 floating skulls from the
It
village.
Yeah.
says it specifically
Really
says
like that.
unless they object, but if they have run off in terror,
They can't
cannot
object.
Awesome.
Yeah, you snap those gemstones, and there are a variety of different gemstones. There's sapphires and emeralds and a variety of different. They're all about 200 gold pieces apiece, so it's a really really nice haul to split amongst the 4 of you.
We'll spend those right before our next one shot. We'll all go buy the magical items that would have helped us tremendously had I advocated for them before the stream. And so,
Well, what I was gonna have you do, Tony, is I was gonna see if you wanted to cover, like, I have a bunch of marbles, so you could, if you just like got the ectoplasm ball on those, we could just like
oh yeah, make them into like sling bullets, and so
yeah.
So, awesome. Well, we do a little thing here on Plus One EXP called Reaction Roll. Reaction Roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's where we sit down with somebody whose game or piece of content we just played through, talk about what we thought about it, share our thoughts, ask any questions that we might have. Today, we are playing the Cursed. I'm going to do it wrong. The Cursed Barrow.
Of the Whispering Skulls.
Of the Whispering Skulls, designed by Levi Combe. That's in Phylactery 3. Phylactery 3 is live right now on Kickstarter. You can go check it out by going to ttrpg.link/P3KS. That link is right down below us right now. Here at Plus One EXP, we're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare, alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope, our desire is that creators would find great players who love their games, and that players could find great games by designers that they can love. And we are going to talk about what it was like to play through this adventure. But Levi, for people who maybe just joined us, just watched this part, tell people a little bit about what Phylactery 3 is and what they can be expecting from it.
So the Phylactery is in general is our flagship zine. You know, it's a fanzine that I jam pack as much OSR fantasy content in there as I can. And I choose OSR because it's very rules light. You know, you can use it with, you know, BX, you can AD&D, you know, first edition, second edition. You can do swords and wizardry. You know, it translates really, really well to most OSR systems. So very rules light. And, you know, each issue has, you know, just a selection of monsters and magic items. And, you know, the first two had like a whole plethora of demonic cults, you know, and different secret organizations, and you know, there's fantastic locations, and then you get little miniature adventures like this one. You know, the Phylactery 3 in general has several different small adventures like this. This is just one of many. If you actually go to the Kickstarter, there's actually a list of some of the content that you'll be able to find in there. You know, the secret history of the grandfather of assassins is a couple page article, and you know, there's 4 new monsters. There's the Blight Hag, the Murderous Eidolon, the Caius Polyp. You know, there's all these different monsters that you can encounter. There's pages of magic items. There's artifacts and relics. There's Kaltarag, the Graveyard of Dragons. There's, again, it's just page after page after page. And I'm not skimping on, you know, I'm not filling up a bunch of stuff with a bunch of charts that you have in 3 or 4 other, you know, sources. I want you to get all brand new content, stuff that you can plug and play directly from the book to the table. If you don't like what's on one page, you can use what's on the next. I want you to decide what you like and be able to just take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and have it make its way to your home table.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we just went through one of the adventures in the book. It is it's a 2-page adventure. I'm going to pop the image back up so that people get a sense of like it's not a long tomb. It is literally just, hey, like, this is a tomb and it does exactly what it's supposed to do, which actually, like, it is one of the things I like. I think a lot of times when we'll have people on for a one shot, they're condensing stuff down, like to make it fit into like an hour or 2 hours. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that you've brought to the stream, the times that we've been able to have you on, have been great because they fit really well into like, no, this is really just like, we go through 4 rooms, or here's the destination we're going to on our point crawl. We're going to go there. We're going to do the thing, explore a little bit of the lore, and then come back, which is a great little niche that I think Planet X stuff does incredibly well, mixed with just the ton of the lore and the flavor that you bring to it. But when people hear a little bit more about my thoughts and a polished review, let's hear from Alex. Alex, tell people who you are, where they can find you online, and what your thoughts were about the adventure we just played.
What's up? I'm R. Alex Murray, Cosmic Traveler, Seeker of Truths. I'm at R. Alex Murray all over the internet. I'm a Brooklyn-based actor, comedian, jack of many other nonsenses. I got like 14 podcasts. Check me out. I tell you what, if you want a game where you can throw a brick at a thing and not much happier, this is the game for you. I mean, I think that's just a consequence of like my dude's build, but like, you know, I think it's nice too. Like, even if your character gets a little stuck in something like this, it's so short and so straightforward that, like, I don't know, you kind of run around and have fun and be it like, you know, run blocking for your group or whatever you need to do. And this is great. I would love a zine full of lots of things like this. Everyone back this.
Yeah, I feel bad for you, man. I literally
don't ever feel bad for me, dude. I drank like 2 beers and I made a joke and I made a Friends reference. It's a great time. You know playing role-playing games with your friends, like which is great. Like, I think that's a testament to something being fun. And like you've created a nice, rich little 4 tombs, like lots of detail, all sorts of fun to be had, or 4-room tomb, nice rich 4-room
Full room
tomb.
tomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Any
Well,
questions?
for the record, you are the best brick thrower I've ever had in any game
appreciate
I've
it.
ever ran.
I feel like it was well thrown, just not on the cart.
Awesome. Let's pop up to Ava. Ava, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, and then what your thoughts were about the adventure that we just went on.
I'm Ava. You can find me online on Twitter at YoungDumbBitch, YUNGDUMBITCH. I always forget if there's 1 or 2 B's. Right now, I am working on an OSR RPG called Errant. It wrapped up its Kickstarter about 3 weeks ago. There's a free version of the rules that you can see if you go to my Twitter. It's linked there. I really like this adventure. I liked that it was just like a straightforward layer. I like the portability of it. I run a sandbox campaign. I've been running a sandbox campaign for like 2 years. And so this is like just kind of like one of the perfect little things that's like you throw a rumor somewhere in your world, you put it down on your hex map, maybe like in between this, like you said at the beginning of the adventure, where we start at one place, we're going to another place. And like, if they're trying to like head to the mega dungeon for a proper expedition, this is the perfect little encounter to throw in there to give them like a little bit of a diversion, a little bit of loot, drain some of their resources as they continue on, and it serves that like little niche for sandbox hex play very well. I think it would scale kind of into the domain levels of play when you're like going through and trying to like clear the land of the problems in every hex so that you can settle an area. It's the perfect size for a session like that when you're trying to go to multiple places and deal with a bunch of problems all at once. And so I think it like knows what the function of like a 2-pager is within like a larger OSR campaign that like fits and suits that really well.
Awesome.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Any questions for Levi?
How much I'm just curious about like how much stuff there is in the adventure dedicated to like if we decided to stick around in the village, talk to them a bit more, how much is there to kind of stick on, because it kind of seemed like everyone was like leaving and that there wasn't, they were trying to like rush you along to the tomb, but just how much of the village is there, how much is there for like the GM to build upon like after this adventure site is gone and like now you've got this village of scabrous yokels who maybe owe you a debt.
No, listen, it has a very short in conclusion. You're absolutely right in the purpose of this is it's literally for something to happen. It's for a hex crawl. It's between one area and another, and it can be dropped into, if you're clearing out an area so that you can build your fortress or, you're going towards a greater goal. All that really happens as you clean this up, nothing really changes in the town other than you helped out Jessup Elkins. You prove yourself to be heroes. The local folk, treat you as such. And forever after in the area, you have friends, that you can count on, that they'll give you a place to hide or shelter for the night. And your characters, their names carry on and spread across the countryside as, the mighty heroes who vanquished the old wizard's skulls. It's a tiny thing. You're not getting it. It's not, you're not sacking the dragon's hoard, but it's just, one more little feather in the adventurer's cap. If a bunch of people didn't show to that night, so suppose only half your group showed, this is something you could plop down and play with the half that did show, as like a side trek,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, Quinn, hit us up.
I mean, crazy to have to go after Ava on this because like she's so knowledgeable OSR stuff, and I'm just over here like I've played 2 like proper OSR games. Like when I think about me like going dungeon delving in TTRPGs, this was an interesting experience for me because this was the first time I would say where I really, aside from the time I played Errant on the stream like 3 weeks ago, where I really had that like short-term, let's jump into a dungeon, do a little bit of looking around, and get on out. You know, like I haven't had that experience before, and from that perspective, I just found that, and I'm sure that the system that we used has a lot to do with this, but it just felt very clean. It felt very mentally clean in a way that I don't, that as someone who until recently was very unaware of the OSR scene, you know, and when I heard about that stuff, I would think about like just TTRPGs that have so much going on, stuff that doesn't really necessarily appeal to my story gamer brain all the time. So to play this and to play Errant and to just kind of start to get a sense of the mental neatness and the approachability. That's more the angle that I'm going for. I felt that this was really approachable, and I liked that a whole awful lot. I liked that there was like an obstacle or two, a puzzle or two. The encounter like had a few interesting things, but it just like it had the exact right amount of stuff going on, and I really appreciate that as someone who was like, I don't know what it's going to be like for me going into the system on a stream, playing this kind of a game with these people who are way more in this zone of game design than me. You know, I'm like, how's this going to go? And it went fucking great. This was super easy to just pick up and go and start off with. And like, you know, I loved this system so much that I'm frankly considering like maybe seeing if some of my friends want to do a little dungeon crawler too as well. So I think that as a light, tasty snack, what a success.
Yeah, Ryan from Rolling Bones, hit me up. If y'all have questions, also go ahead and drop them in the chat. We've got a lot of positive comments. People really liked it. Lots of love for Levi. Also, apparently, you have turned to dark magic after your underground band failed, Levi. And so, no, I absolutely had a blast. I do love Down We Go as a system because it is so simple and easy. But I actually think, I think there's this weird misconception, and it's actually one of the reasons why I really wanted Ava to come on, because I love Ava's design sensibilities and some of the conversations on these like very large theory level that Ava will bring up. And I also love like the extensive lore I watch Levi build, and so like there's parts of the way that each of you approach OSR I was super excited about. I always love the energy Alex brings, and I always love the enthusiasm that Quinn brings to any game also too. So those are like all they're great. Like I was saying in the chat earlier, I was super excited to see how the energy gelled tonight. But it is. I think lots of times people assume that old school systems are really rules heavy because like they don't know how to calculate descending armor class, or they don't know what Thaco is, or like, you know, like there's all kinds of reasons that people might. But the reality is, like, one of the things I love about OSR is the same thing I love about indie stuff, but from just a different perspective. And that is like, the point is to get past the rules and into the fun, clean story mode of play where you're just talking about what's happening. And I loved like even knowing like, oh crap, well, we don't have magic weapons and we do need one, and I maybe should have asked that question a little bit more explicitly before the stream, but at no point are you like, I can't do something. The great thing about OSR is the question is always, what can I do, right? And so like the classic Ava, I'm gonna go walk over and animate the tomb, and now the tomb is a walking thing, right? And I was like, that's 100% the best use of animate object I have ever seen in a short OSR one shot is like animate tomb to cram down around the bad thing. Even Alex, like you running around like, here I'm gonna dump the holy water on him, you know, just it's a little bit more or whatever. Like those types of things in OSR specifically are the things you start thinking about. And for me, like I always tell people, I'm an item chunker. Like I'm always about, I'm gonna put all this random crap in my character's pockets and just look for opportunities to point it out. And that's one of my favorite things about OSR is there's always a reason to have dumb stuff in your pocket and then pull it out later on, like 100%. And so, you know, I like I said, that's I think one of my favorite things. Rosamir wants to know, kind of along the same lines of what Ava asked, was there content of the adventure that was not discovered in the session? Like, did we miss the secret passageway, or if we had hopped, you know, across?
No, not really.
Could we have known? Could we like? I probably did, but could we have known that was Terra beforehand, before we walked past?
I mean, just by putting 2 and 2 together, maybe. But I mean, again, that's probably a failure in the design area on my part, actually. That I didn't put a more clear connection between the two. So this hasn't gone to print yet, so that should definitely be something that goes in there.
As a player, like I was pretty sure that was the case. When I didn't make that roll to know what the actual signal in the middle was, I was just like, oh yeah, like I probably would have had a clearer idea as a player. And Ava jokingly said, player knowledge, character knowledge, what's that? Because in OSR you really don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. That's more of a stream sensibility for me. Like, would my character know this, or am I just robbing the scene for everybody? It really is what it comes down to. But yeah, I feel like that was the point at which I would have been like, absolutely, this is probably Terra. But yeah, no, I still think that there's a lot of good there. Or like, I was curious, like there were the alcoves. Like I probably like had this been like full. Like, had this been a longer session where maybe we weren't worried about time, I would have definitely messed around with the skulls and the alcoves more in the very first room. I would have messed with the book a whole lot more early on. There's a couple things I would have done differently if not for like just space and brevity. That I feel like is one of my favorite things about OSR is I'm just gonna put this thing and that thing, and then this thing on that thing, and then this thing over here on that thing, and just see what all the things do. Until
Point and click.
Yeah, I will say this: that Thera, the monster she is, it's called a Burning Geist, and it's a new monster for the Phylactery.
Good
but
for her.
It's it's a fairly powerful creature. So the fact that none of you died, I was really surprised that none of you died. I thought at least half the party would die because she's not a slouch by any means, but you guys kept changing the terms of the battlefield. So you were, it wasn't like you were just straight up just trying to hack and slash and kill her. You were moving that nuclear football around that skull that she was so intent on protecting. You were, the invisibility and the, sliding between the legs and then the tomb. And then again, you're changing the levels of the battlefield against the monster. So, that really paid off. And it was just clever playing. It was good. I couldn't. I mean, 2 thumbs up.
And I will say, Quinn, in your two OSR games and your 2 streams, someone has gone through someone's legs.
Someone's legs, yeah.
I was thinking about that. It's just a cool maneuver.
And so
Pretty good.
it's always a good maneuver to think about what could I be doing. I think that's the thing. That's one of the things I love. I think again, Phylactery does a phenomenal job, and all these things from Planet X do a really phenomenal job of giving you enough lore and giving you enough things to do it. And it's 100% what Down We Go doesn't do. Down We Go is so cut down and so minimalist that plugging it in with something like Phylactery or with lore or with this other stuff from Planet X, filling that out with just the lore of here's some really cool stuff to mess around with is 100% some of my favorite stuff to do. So if anybody has any questions about that or wants to check out the Phylactery, we do encourage you go down to the link below, ttrpg.link/p3ks. Levi, how much longer is Phylactery on Kickstarter for?
Another 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll be sharing it around. We'll be checking it out. We are on Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm just playing a game just for me. No one's going to see it. It's not even going to get recorded because I'm not in charge of running it. I know, right? Is it even a game if it's not content?
Why?
Because I'm
What
getting
do
to
you
play.
gain?
I'm getting to play test Apocalypse Keys, and I'm super excited to not be running it and not have to stream it. And I'm very excited about that game. And guys, everyone should keep an eye out for that also too. On a Wednesday, though, we are going to be doing Backer Quest. We will be talking about Phylactery 3 some more, looking at the Kickstarter page, along with 10-ish other projects that have come out on itch or that are live on Kickstarter right now. Basically anything that's come out in the last few months. So if you have a project you'd like us to highlight, let us know. We also do let itch projects sponsor that, which is just a couple of digital giveaways. So we are going to be giving away a couple copies of a game every Wednesday from itch also too. If you are a creator and you ever want your project featured on that, just let us know. It's 3 p.m. Every other week on Wednesdays we do that just to highlight some of the newest and greatest games that are coming out, or just at least what we're excited about. So come on back for that. This weekend we're going to be doing a live stream of Cities of Mist, not on our channels, but over on Fresh Out to Boxes channel as part of a fundraiser for WAVA. Also, we are going to be doing 80s teen horror dungeon crawl classics on Saturday night. So we will have a group of about 25 small town teens just trying to survive the night as some sort of horrible comet thing has happened, and people in their city are going crazy. We played the first part of it a little while ago, but we're going to launch it and play the whole thing over. And then every time somebody dies, we're going to ask you to donate to WAPA. So we
That
want
is
people just
amazing.
picking them out at the very beginning of the
Love
night.
it.
And I'll tell you what, if there's a character you really don't like, and you're willing to pay big bucks, we'll just have the GM make sure that they die. If there's a character you really like and you want to give them plot armor, you can throw money out for that also too. All that's going to be going to support sexual abuse survivors in the city of I think it's in British Columbia. And so check that out. Come back on Saturday night for that. I still need to figure out who all my players are for that. So anybody watching wants to come on and play, let me know. That's going to be super fun. And then on the 5th through the 11th of April, we are doing a thing called Troika Fest in partnership with Melsonian Arts Council, which is basically encouraging people, if you haven't tried Troika before, to just try it for the first time. We'll be doing a couple of streams with staff members from that, some of our good friends who are designers from all over, and giving away a whole lot of copies of Troika stuff that week as well. So check that out. It's our first fest that we're doing. There'll also be some game design jams and some other stuff that we're doing to raise money for great community works through that also too. So come back and check any of that out. You can find it at +1EXP. That's way more stuff than I normally announce. Go check out Phylactery. Go check out all these amazing people.
And +1 for Troika.
Do what?
+1 for Troika.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Troika's it's been super exciting to partner with Melsonian. We'll be doing a couple of fests a year. I'm super excited after Troika Fest to announce our few, which are with much smaller designers, but who are good friends of ours who have put out some really great systems. But Troika's a great partner to start the process of doing
awesome.
fests with. So Fest. So until next time, we're just gonna wave at the camera until we go off air. Rosemere, just follow us on social media. I should get schedules together, but I never do a good job of doing it.
Are we off the air?
We do way more
Why
content.
not?
No, keep on waving. We do way more content than I can ever keep keeping a schedule. And we're clear.